Today we are going to see the topic multi-agent systems and its communication and coordination from the course Generative AI and Agentic Systems. Let us start with the introduction about multi-agent system. When you look at the diagram, you will be able to understand how the communication and coordination is happening between the multiple agents. If you see agent 1 and agent 2, there are most common things which you could find that the agent core problem and with the inference engine support and with the backup of database and how the sensors are useful to analyzing the input patterns and how it is proceeded to the output through the actuators of actions through the agent core. So like this, multiple agents are involved. So that's why we call it as MES, multi-agent systems. So let's move on to the ice-breaking questions like what is an AI agent? You can give some examples like chatbots, maps, and how the characteristics of AI chatbots looks like. If you see the key characteristics of chatbots, most of the chatbots are using the AI model, and it is having the conversational interface of UI and UX, and it is completely a specific routine task focused, and it has a limited autonomy in terms of executing the prompts and queries, and it has a clear dictionary of understanding the context. So what is being feeded. So here the learning objectives of multi-agent systems like how to learn the communication between the systems and also to explore the coordination between the different AI agents. So here if you see the diagram multi-agent architecture, there would be communication channels on the left side, on the right side the collaboration strategy. So with this communication and collaboration, finally the variables are moved to the agents as an interface, and these agents will be passing the values to the environment. So if you look at how the process is happening when it comes to communication, the messages and the assessment of task, everything is moving through the interfaces and passing to the agents. And when it comes to collaboration strategy, the task allocation and the sharing of information like knowledge is being forwarded to the agents. So each agents are having its own independent and individual autonomous things in handling the message and knowledge resources with an assessment. And finally, the feedback and the perception reasoning and the queries are passed through the environmental variables. So where the physical environment and knowledge base is there. So what exactly the multiple agent system? It has an interaction through the communication and collaboration, and it is competing each other to produce the results finally in the real world system. So there are three MAS, most commonly used cooperative MAS, where the agents collaborate to achieve a shared global goal. If you see that example, the swarm intelligence robotics. In the competitive multi-agent system, where the agents are optimizing for individual utility, often in the form of adversarial settings, for example, the trading bots. And the third category is mixed combination of cooperative and competitive, where the agents shift strategies dynamically between the cooperation and competition based on the context. So the most common characteristics of multi-agent system is here it is very independent. It is cooperative through its communication. It is highly discrete and it is used only for the emerging cooperation, and it has the ability to communicate between the agentic systems, also passing through the tools, and it is completely a non-communicating attribute level also sometimes, and it is highly deliberate and negotiating. So here however the characteristics are highly influenced by the scalability and the robustness here. The foundations of a multi-agent system is individual agents where autonomous entities with unique goals and decision-making processes are happening. And in the communication protocols, we are using the standardized approach where the agents to share the information with more effective approach. And here when it comes to coordination mechanism level, the processes are highly measured and it makes the integration together and to avoid conflicts between them. Also, the shared environment, a most common space where the agents operate on its own interest independently. Then the agent communication, if you see that there are four communication, message passing, shared environment and API protocol. In all three cases, you can see that there is a centralized architecture, decentralized architecture, and sequential architecture, and hierarchical level architecture. And the coordination of message multi-agent systems, here it is the environment and the communication and collaboration. Between that, the intermediaries agents. So however, the other three variables are exchanging the information, and it is coordinating with the actions with respect to achieving the common goals. So here the scheduling and the negotiation and the allocation of task and the consensus are the important things when it comes to coordination. Let's take the empathize with the logistics manager problem. How is he facing the delivery delays, and he needs better coordination. So here the coordination of multiple robots in the form of multiple agents for the warehouse management. You see that every process is explained in the form of agents, from the goal specification, action coordination, finally the knowledge sharing, etc. So when it comes to design thinking level, how the design principles can be kept in designing multi-agent AI system, we need to see the capability discovery. So what kind of systems are required, this kind of high-level, multi-level, multiple agent system. Then we need to keep the reasoning with the proper observations and with the proper proof of evidence. Then the interoperability, where it has to persist with the agent's state, and it has to resume certain things, and it has to produce the feedback after every agent is passing through the work. And finally the cost aware delegation, which is used to estimate and communicate the cost of agents actions. It provides the control when to add, when to remove. Also it is completely delegating with the actions to with the human interventions. So the design thinking principles for the agentic AI: human first approach, then the transparent intelligence is applied, then the continuous learning has to be nurtured, then with the collaborative intelligence has to be implemented, then with all safety and trust the measures can be analyzed with the proper feedback. So the students can take an activity. You have to choose any domain, and you have to define the communication and coordination between the domain, and for then you can apply the multi-agent systems for for your chosen domain. So here the applications, it is explained in the T-shaped model. Like it is used, the AI agents are used in healthcare, finance, manufacturing, in hospitals, education, retail, also transportation and logistics. Even HR domains also using that. So when to use this AI agents, that's a final conclusion with respect to communication and coordination. You have a big, when you have a big complicated task, there you can use that. When you want to make smart predictions, you can use that. Or when you want more hands-on approach, you can use this multiple agent systems. On when you want to monitor constantly and quickly reactions also, that time you can use the things. Okay. Fine, thank you students. Let us continue the next class.